Kay Murray and Stevie Nicol here with you, looking back on Liverpool's return to action on Boxing Day. 3 goals, 3 points. Are you happy with that one, Stevie?
Well, on paper, 3-1 away from home, scoring 3 goals, picking up 3 points, then you should be quite happy. Now, it depends on how you want to look at this game. You can look at this game and say, plenty of chances, could have scored more goals. You could also say we could have lost a lot more goals than we actually did, and at times we're completely outplayed by Aston Villa. So it's a little bit of both. You shouldn't complain with a win away from home, and you shouldn't complain scoring 3 goals away from home. But I think overall, Jurgen Klopp will know there's a lot of things that need to be worked on, particularly defensively.
Yeah, because obviously it's making up ground in the lost places, really, when it comes to that top 4 race. And obviously this is another step towards doing that. Aston Villa coming out after the break, though, with all guns blazing. Obviously Liverpool taking the lead into the break. Darwin Núñez, there's been a lot of talk about him. Is it unfair or is it warranted?
Absolutely not warranted. For some reason, this kid's getting lambasted every time he misses a chance. And if there's one thing you've seen from this guy, is that he will continue to be available to get chances. And eventually he's going to start scoring more than he's missing. Yes, he's not putting the ball in the back of the net as regularly as we would like. But I think, again, you know, when you come for a tag of 80 million, then I think it's easy that straight away people are gunning for you, and you have to score. Otherwise, they're going to get on your back. But I'll tell you what, as a defender, I do not want anything to do with Darwin Núñez. He's an absolute nightmare. You know, yes, he didn't score, but he's involved in some of the goals. And so, yeah, I think it's unwarranted. I think it's unfortunate. But I think you've got to give him a lot of credit. This guy doesn't hide. This guy keeps going. He keeps putting himself in positions to score. And as I said, eventually when he gets a little bit more experience, a little bit more composure, then he's going to score a lot of goals for Liverpool in the coming years.
Are you happy to see Klopp giving the youngsters a chance today, Stevie? A couple of teams, 3 teams actually on the pitch.
Yes and no. You know, I think teams that are looking to win the Premier League, yes, it's good to have some youngsters coming through, but you know, I'm not so sure Liverpool are in a position where they want to start 3 or 4 young guys. They went 3-1 up, and obviously that was a good opportunity for Klopp to bring some of them on. Obviously, Bajic scored the 3rd goal. After that, you got young Doak coming on as well. So, yeah, listen, when the game's done, which it was at 3-1, then it's good to get young guys on. But listen, if Liverpool want to be in the top 4 and they want to be competing for the Premier League anytime soon, it's not going to be with the young guys. Not too many.
All right, then, who stood out from the big guns today for Liverpool?
Well, I think Van Dijk, obviously, cleared. I mean, he must have a sore head the amount of times he headed balls away. Yeah, I think him obviously getting the goal helps. But just in general, he kind of looks as though he's back to his best. And everybody around him kind of steps the game up. You know, if anything, I'd like to see him getting a hold of the middle of the park and holding people back. Because I think Liverpool have got too many players trying to get forward to score goals. And when the ball's turned over, there's a huge gap in the middle of the park. I would suggest that Virgil van Dijk has to not just have a word with Klopp, but he has to sort it out on the field during a game when there are too many players in the middle of the park going missing.
Speaking of sorting things out, Stevie, there's a few long-term injuries to factor in. With the January transfer coming up, transfer window, what areas do Liverpool need to address, and do they need some cover for those injuries?
You know, I think they need to strengthen in the middle of the park. I've said it before. You know, the Ox has done great for Liverpool, but you know, again, you're not winning the Premier League with him. You know, James Milner is brilliant a servant as he's been. Again, you're not winning the Premier League with him. You know, young Harvey Elliott, who's still learning his trade. You know, so for me, they really need to strengthen in the middle of the park. I mean, even Jordan Henderson these days doesn't play 90 minutes. Naby Keita has never quite done it. I mean, I'm going through pretty much the whole midfield, and there's question marks. And again, I'll come back to what I said before about teams streaming through Liverpool in the middle of the park. Aston Villa did it today, particularly in the second half. There was a period where they just completely dominated Liverpool, and Liverpool couldn't get the ball. And when they actually did, they couldn't keep it. So I would suggest the middle of the park is where Liverpool needs to strengthen.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.